if you've ever been to one of the business expos, these are the two. In fact, these are the voice behind the business expo. Gentlemen, welcome.
Yes, how are you guys?
Easy. Happy Thursday.
Thank you so much. Yeah.
You see, there's one thing about entrepreneurs. By the time they get to the studio, they've been running back and forth. You can see these guys are from meetings. You can see these guys are from meetings.
Yeah. Definitely. Yeah, that's
okay. True. Yeah. So, gentlemen, tell us a little bit. I do know that, Sammy, you are a serial entrepreneur. You've written a book, and you talk nothing but funding. And before he talks to us, listen to this. Success is a peace of mind, which is a direct result of knowing you did your best to become the best that you are capable of being. Isn't that awesome?
It's poetic. It's beautiful.
Are you sure you don't write poems as well?
No, I did write poems while I was in grade 8. I used to do a lot of...
Writing poems at grade 8, does that count?
I think that was part of the... curriculum.
Yes, it was part of it.
So tell us a little bit. So obviously, you are an entrepreneur.
Yes, that's correct.
How long have you been an entrepreneur for?
I started since 2011. I started being an entrepreneur since 2011. I started writing books.
What made you to start to go into business?
Okay, so basically, I want to leave a legacy. For my kids. Look, I planned for my kids even before they became. I wanted to leave something into the society. So that's the reason why I wanted to be an entrepreneur. And I don't like to be bossed around. And
that was coming.
Yes. Yeah.
So why the sector? Why the industry that you went into?
Okay. So look, I've been writing books. This is actually my 3rd book, and it's also a bestseller, by the way. So this is my.
How do you get a book to be a bestseller?
Yeah. So what I've done, getting back to how I started writing, okay, and especially on the topic of funding. I was going through Facebook, and a lot of people were talking about funding. How are we gonna access funding? I was like, okay, I need to write something regarding that, because a lot of SMEs are looking for funding. They have their businesses. So what I did, I went to DTI, I went to IDC, I went to all these funding institutions, and I interviewed those people to say that, how is your funding criteria? How can you access funding? So based on that information, I designed the book to access funding as for small SMEs. And wow, it was so amazing. The response was crazy.
The book is called SMME Kit to Access Funding by your boy Sammy Mark. Yes. But here's the most important thing, ladies and gentlemen. If at home you want to find out any questions in relation to funding, please don't forget you can hit us up on 074-940-7992. That's 074-940-7992. You can ask the man himself. What are the 3 main important things when it comes to funding?
You need to do your research. I told a lot of entrepreneurs that it's 80% on research, and then it's 20% on filling in the application form. So what are the most important? You need
let's say that again. 80%
on research and 20% on filling the application form.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is that you need to understand your business on what you want to achieve as a business. So what you need to do, you need to have a proper business plan. So in detail, so if you're an investor and you want someone to take out money for you, he needs to understand your business. He needs to know what you're operating. Number 2, you need to have letters of intent to show that there's money coming in. You are willing to, there's money coming within the business. So if someone is going to pop up money, he wants to understand, okay, if I'm popping 5 million, what returns am I going? Is this business viable? And the owner of the business, is he able to deliver the demand that's needed? So a lot of entrepreneurs jump to the application form, fill the application form, and then the funding institutions will be like, but where's your letters of intent? But where's your business plan? What have you done?
But how do I get funding? I've got a brilliant idea.
Yeah.
My business is not fully operational. However, I need capital to start running.
Yeah.
How do I then provide a letter of intent?
No, you need to run. That's where it starts. You need to run, you need to hit the road. And how do you get letters of intent? By starting the work. A lot of entrepreneurs, they feel that you need money to start the work.
Yeah.
Most of my business, I started without nothing, by zero. So when you start the work, while you are doing the work, that's where you're going to get the letters of intent.
There's somebody at home right now wondering, I want to start a business, but I don't have capital. I don't even know where to go, how to start. How did you start your business without funding or capital?
Yeah, so what you need to do a lot of research. Understand the industry that you are doing. Understand the competition that you are with. So that's number one. Number two, you need to be willing to put the work. So you need to look into your business. Where can I start and do capital? And that's where you start.
So let's talk about your business.
Yeah.
How did you move from 0 to 10 Rand to 100 Rand to 1,000 and a million? Because you look like you're a millionaire.
It smells like it too.
So look, it takes time, guys. Entrepreneur it's a journey.
I'm so glad.
It's a journey. It takes time.
You talk of the term "it's a journey" very loosely.
Yeah.
It's important for people to understand what we mean by "it's a journey."
I've been an entrepreneur. It's 8 years now.
Failed how many times?
I failed 1,000 times, and that's the beauty of being an entrepreneur. When you fail, you can bounce back. But when you're employed, if you failed, you get fired. So that's the beauty about entrepreneurship. You are able to bounce back, and you are able to do things. Now, if you do a mistake as an employee, you get fired. They're not going to give you that chance. So that's what I've learned as an entrepreneur, and that's keep me there. Yeah.
So I wanted to know. So you're obviously not alone today.
Yeah.
So can you tell us about the gentleman you're with today?
Okay.
Talk to us.
I'm Nyiko Baloyi. I'm commonly referred to as the brand genius, and that's because I'm a brand strategist, more of a brand psychologist. Okay. Right? I'm also an author.
So there's a brand strategist,
yes,
a brand psychologist.
Yes.
What's the difference?
Okay, here's the thing, right? When you talk about brand psychology, you see a lot of brands. I see it with a lot of upcoming entrepreneurs, right? They're mostly obsessed with conquering the market. There's this big obsession with the market, right? But where you need to start is conquering the mind. You need to occupy a sizable space in the mind of the consumer, because that's how you gain market share, because the market is made out of individuals, right? Yeah. So you get to the mind of your consumers before you get to the market.
So Nyiko, just to jump in there, yes. on the Massive Business Solution, we speak to both the high-end entrepreneur as well as the low-end, right? Now, no mama, lokshini, I'm selling fruits, or I own a hair salon, or I've got a chisanyama for that matter. How do I occupy? What are the steps in occupying the mind?
Okay, here's the thing. You occupy the mind whether you are aware of it or not, right? It's called brand positioning. There's a way in which your brand is perceived, even as an individual, I like that you were interviewing a musician here. A beautiful voice, by the way, my sister. Here's the thing, right? To make it as an artist, as an individual, everyone is a brand, whether you're aware of it or not, right? So how, as in layman's terms, as someone in the corner selling chicken or whatever it is that you're selling, you have relationships. There's a persona that you put up whenever you're sitting behind that counter, whether you're aware of it or not. If you're not aware of it, you might find yourself building a bad reputation without even being aware, because you're not aware of how you are perceived, So how people perceive you, whether you try or not, you will always be positioned a certain way as a brand.
All right.
Yeah.
So for you, let's use a commonly known brand that is, I think, in my mind, has been able to achieve that quite successfully. The brand Ipatu.
Okay, you know what? I haven't really done much research on Ipatu, but what I can tell you, I'm also an author, right? Okay. One of my books is called, in fact, my first book is How the Big Brands Did It, right? The Power of Outstanding Brand Positioning.
So let's talk about an outstanding brand in your mind.
Outstanding brands are your Coca-Cola, right? I always say, you see, Coca-Cola is not in the bottle. I mean, the slogan itself says, taste the feeling. You can't taste the feeling, right? A feeling is something that's in your head, right? Coca-Cola is one of those brands. In fact, he has a classic example, right? The CEO of Coke once said that if there was to be a sudden natural disaster, right, and everything that is Coke merchandise, all the billboards, all the Coke merchandise, all the factories, if everything was to be destroyed in a sudden natural disaster, then Coke would live on as a brand. But if there was to be a sudden lapse in memory and everyone was to forget that Coke exists, with all the billions, probably trillions worth of merchandise, Coke would be nothing. So what this tells you is that Coke is not the product that you hold. Coke is not tangible. Coke as a brand is a psychological thing. That's brand psychology.
Wow.
And another thing you need to understand is I also make examples of Apple. I love Apple. You know what I mean?
Of course you gotta love it. Apple again keeps your doctor away. Listen to the Steve is long gone, but we still talk of him.
Exactly, you know. So Apple's brand positioning for me is quite interesting. You know what I mean? How so? I think, you know what, let me just bring it home. You know, many people, if I was to ask you now, what's the cheapest supermarket in South Africa? You'd probably say ShopRite.
Yes,
Am I
check it.
correct?
ShopRite.
Boxer.
You'd probably say Boxer.
Okay.
But actually, we all know that ShopRite and Checkers are owned by the same company.
Yes,
right?
yes.
ShopRite,
That
Checkers.
comes-
Checkers, in a study done in late 2018, it was found that Checkers is actually cheaper than ShopRite. But then you look at the brand positioning, Checkers is positioned for your sort of middle class type of. ShopRite is positioned for your lower LSM, all right? Now, this tells you that psychology for brands is more important than pricing. You see, there's this common misconception that the best products and the best prices will determine your success. This couldn't be further from the truth. You know what I mean? Apple is not the best smartphone in the market. There are many Android phones that are far better than Apple. But Apple is the most popular and the most expensive, you know?
And ironically, when you look at the top 10 smartphones on the market,
Yes.
Huawei is actually beating Apple to the beat.
When you look at functionality
And the
design
camera.
and everything. But as far as brand positioning, Apple beats them hands down.
And even internationally, Samsung comes out number 5. There's also Chinese companies that release cell phones that are actually way better than these devices that we use, including Motorola.
Gentlemen, are we not stating the obvious in this is, let me unpack my statement. Chinese have got the biggest population, so by virtue of that, they would have the biggest brand. But no, that was just me teasing. Going back to my man Sammy Mock, I want to talk to you about your book. Where can people find these? In fact, where can people find both your books? If you can both, gentlemen, help me help my listeners to understand where they can get these books.
Okay, mine you can get it on Amazon. It's just SME access to funding. You get it on Amazon. It's actually selling good on Amazon. And some of them...
And if you get it today, you get it what, at a discount?
Yeah, probably. Yeah, so they can also check me on YouTube, Sammy Mock. YouTube, there's channels I always post about funding. I have some videos there where I assist step by step on how to access funding in South Africa, because I also received funding from the DTI, so I'm talking worth of experience knowing how the channels you need to do. I tell you all the secrets. You can check me on YouTube, your Twitter. I'm also there. Yeah.
All righty. I know that you gentlemen are serial entrepreneurs because you dab into a number of industries. One of the things I want to talk about is the Kulani growth. Tell me a little bit more about that.
Yes, so Kulani growth.
That's actually funny. What a paradox. Kulani growth.
Yes.
Is it redundant?
So our slogan, it says your partner in growth. So we partner with you to grow. So basically how it happened is I got to meet Nyiko through a friend, you know, and Nyiko was presenting, and you guys, you heard him how he was presenting good. I was like, I need to work with this guy. And the back of his mind, while I was presenting, he was like, I need to work with this guy. So we came together, and wow, we formed the group called Kulani Growth, one of the leading BE consultant. We into BE, we into transformation, we into skills and development. That's our industry. We basically, in layman terms, what we do is we handle big corporate budgets and we assist the community with that budget.
So you speak to the one thing that speaks to us at the Massive Business Solutions, which is black people partnering up in business.
That's correct. Yeah.
That's number one. And secondly, black people moving away from the traditional business, which is your chisanyama, your hair salons, your car wash. You venturing into spaces such as funding, which are key and vital spaces to occupy, because you understand what it is for a black child growing up in Tembisa to actually start a business. You can talk to them in a language and in a manner in which they would understand.
Yeah, you know, actually, just to correct you, I'm not from Tembisa.
representing.
Okay.
Nyiko, you have to do that.
No. The thing is, I don't want to misrepresent my hood. You know, there's people in my hood who be like, "Yeah, Segas Chigel."
Well, but also, let me say this. There's something about us. If you, gentlemen, if you ever get time, you must check out Zex Pantwini talking about how we are so protective about our hood.
Yeah.
You know, and which is what Nyiko has done. Nyiko, where are you from?
I'm from Lens. Yeah.
Did you notice the silence after that?
Yeah, I know. You know, there isn't a lot of us out there, so I had to at least raise my voice. You know what I mean? And you know, I like what you said, you know, about black businesses partnering up and just not sticking to traditional methods of doing business. You know what I mean? And it's actually not about coming up with a different business or a different concept or something that's never been done before. It's just changing the business model. You know, I mean, you look at Uber, you look at what's this, the Airbnb. You know, these are things. Accommodation has always been there. Taxis have always been around us, but the business model has just changed.
That's all it is.
So we need to start changing our business models, you know. And I like that you spoke about women empowerment, you know, because I'm about to sell something to you also. Nah.
Okay.
Wait,
So before that,
I'm not selling.
This man is big on sales.
Okay.
This man is big on sales. So
You've
if you
been warned.
wanna sell it,
Yeah.
you gotta sell it good because this man is very big on sales.
Okay,
His
perfect.
company handles sales.
Okay, here's the
So
thing.
let's hear this.
And another thing I do besides Kulani Growth with Sammy, because you spoke of women empowerment, all right? I'm the founder of South Africa's fastest growing influencer community, right? Africa's first ever. And we also have an influencer digital academy. So yeah, man, our influencer community is crazy. You need to check it out, you know.
So how does that tie up to the woman? And I'm still waiting for the same.
We're waiting for the sale.
Here's the thing, it's women only.
Okay.
Oh.
It's women only.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well done. Congrats.
And this is why. Let me tell you why, right? You know, it is said that women don't buy brands, they join them. You know what I mean? And also, and also another thing, brands that bring women together bring those women closer to those brands. You know what I mean? So yeah, so for me,
are you saying women are more loyal to brands than
they are.
than the country?
And also stats have shown that they make 70% of the buying decisions. I mean, you look at married couples, even with adventure travel, with homes, with products, it's usually the woman who decides. It doesn't matter where the money is coming from. And I'm in no way insinuating that the men are the ones who make money, because I believe women are just as equal.
That is very true. You're making a lot of women smile right now.
You've got 1 minute to sell me whatever you're going to sell me.
Right now.
Yes.
Okay.
The last time a person said that in the studio, hey,
We can only make sounds. We can't even explain it.
there'll be more.
You know what? Let me tell you this, right? And I'm not going to stick to just one brand. Let's talk Kulani Growth, because Kulani Growth is more broader. You know what I mean? What we are about is creating real impact, you know, real sustainable impact, you know. Do it yourself in the real sense of you doing it yourself. You know what I mean? And to do it yourself, you don't have to be independent. You see, as black people, we have this thing that you should not rely on others to make it, and this is why we don't collaborate as much.
That's true.
So as Kulani Growth, we call upon all entrepreneurs, you know, whether you are QSE, EME, whatever category you're in, you know, we say just come together and help each other out. You know what I mean? And that's what we do as Kulani Growth, and this is why we are your partner in growth. You know what I mean? If you are growing, then we are growing with you.
You've got 30 seconds to sell me something.
Here's what I'm going to sell you. Check out Influencer Agency. It's influenceragency.africa, right? The biggest influencer community you'll ever find.
Wow.
In Africa.
That was the sale?
That was the sale.
That might have been the sale.
Okay, gentlemen, before we part, we've only got, literally, we've run out of time. What's your biggest advice when it comes, okay, firstly, where do people find you?
Okay, now everybody, if you're looking for me, Sammy Mock, Sammy Mock, SAMMYMOK, Sammy Mock. You'll find me on social media, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, if you want to know more about funding.
Okay, Sammy Mock is not a salesperson. So let me help you. You've got to go look for Sammy Mock. You've got to.
Yeah.
Take it from me. If you need funding, if you need your business to grow to the next level, if you're looking for new business opportunity, Sammy Mock is the person to speak to.
Okay, Nyiko Baloyi, you can go on my website. It's nyikobaloyi.co.za. That's NYIKOBALOYI. That's where my book is. And if you want to do it like how the big brands did, then you need to check out my website.
Ishonalish.
It's on, it's on.
Shoku.
It's on, it's on.
Thank you very much to the two gentlemen, and well done. We are so proud of the work that you guys are doing. And yes, this is what we're talking about on the Massive Business Solution. We're always talking rocking, real, and relevant business solutions.